They say beauty can be a curse. Everyone in our village knew about her. Her name was Amora, and she was the most beautiful woman anyone had ever seen. Her skin glowed like polished mahogany, her eyes were bright and sharp, and when she smiled, even the old men would stop mid-sentence. Every man wanted to marry her, and every woman envied her. But my grandmother used to say, "Beauty without wisdom brings sorrow." I never understood that until the night everything changed. I was 19 then, just a farmer like everyone else. One evening, after returning from the fields, I heard my brothers arguing about Amora. They said the chief's son was going to propose to her. Another one said a trader from the next village had already promised her father 10 cows. But I didn't care about the gossip. Amora was out of my league, and honestly, something about her always made me uneasy. It wasn't just her looks. It was the way things seemed to happen around her. Every man who got too close to her always had bad luck. Kofi, the hunter, broke his leg a week after he visited her family. Kojo, the blacksmith, lost his tools in a fire the day after he offered her a gift. People said it was jealousy, that others cursed those who sought Amora. But my grandmother had another story. She told me Amora's beauty wasn't natural. She was touched by the forest spirits, she whispered one night. They gave her a face that no man could resist, but they also cursed her. Anyone who loves her too much will pay a heavy price. I laughed it off. It sounded like an old woman's tale to scare children. Until the night I saw it myself. It was a moonless night, and the air felt heavy, like a storm was coming. I was walking back from the river after fetching water when I heard singing. It was soft at first, almost like a hum. I followed the sound, even though my instincts told me to turn back. It led me to a clearing near the edge of the forest. There she was, Amora, sitting by the baobab tree. She was singing a strange song, and it didn't sound like anything from our village. Her voice echoed, like there were a dozen people singing with her. The air around her shimmered, like heat rising from a fire. And then I saw him, Kwame, the chief's son, standing a few feet away, staring at her like he was in a trance. "Kwame," I whispered, but he didn't move. His eyes were locked on Amora, and his face was blank, like he wasn't really there. I hid behind a bush, too scared to move closer. Amora stopped singing and turned to him. Her smile was wrong. It wasn't warm or kind. It was cold, almost cruel. She stood up, and I saw something move in the shadows behind her. It wasn't human. I can't describe it properly. It was tall, with long limbs, and its eyes glowed red like embers. The thing pointed at Kwame, and he fell to his knees. Amora leaned closer to him and whispered something I couldn't hear. Then, just like that, she turned and walked into the forest. The thing followed her, disappearing into the darkness. Kwame stayed there, frozen, until the sun began to rise. When he finally stood up, he was different. His face looked aged, and his eyes were empty. The next day, the village was in chaos. Kwame couldn't speak anymore. He just sat in his father's compound, staring at nothing. When people asked what happened, he pointed toward the forest. But no one dared go there. Amora's family said she went to visit her aunt in another village, but she never came back. Some people said she was taken by the spirits, that they claimed her because she broke their rules. Others said she was the spirit all along, sent to punish greedy men. I don't know what's true. But I never went near that part of the forest again. And now, when someone talks about beauty, I always remember my grandmother's words, "Beauty without wisdom brings sorrow."